Hello ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my video. My name is Ramenstein, but for short you can just call me Stein. Um, this is my first video with audio. This is probably take number 12. I've had lots of issues trying to get this to work. Either it be other interference or crashing or something like that. But I think I've gotten everything more or less under control. Um, this is going to be a video for probably one of my favorite games, or current favorite games, one of my fixes. Um, it's called Darkest Dungeon. It's right here. It is a 2D side-scroller. Great game. Very fun. It's like a 2D side-scrolling Dark Souls. That's kind of how I usually refer it to. It's a very The description is called Gothic, but it's not Gothic, it's Lovecraftian. It's really, yeah. Um, I used to be a security guard over at a hotel near me, and the we talk about video games with the night desk guy there, and he told me if I liked 2D side scrollers because I had just finished talking to him about this other awesome 2D side-scrolling game called Dragon's Crown. I don't know if you've heard of it. You've probably seen inappropriate content about it. But it's a 2D side-scroller dungeon delver. And so he told me about Darkest Dungeon, and I went out and I bought it for my Vita, PlayStation Vita. Yes, I still play that. I am very behind on times. I think my most advanced system is the Vita. Other than that, I have a 360 that's in storage that hasn't been touched in, I don't know, a couple years. But anyways, I got it. Got the DLCs for it. Great, and I just fell in love with it, and then I decided, you know what, why don't I buy it for the computer as well? So I did, and loved it. The artwork's a little bit more detailed on the computer, of course. Bigger screen, more resolution, but it's a fun game. I absolutely love it. I am using the OBS screen recorder program. It's something free to use. It's not the best, so if any of you guys, my viewers, haha, I get to say that now, have any recommendations for other free software that might work better than OBS at screen recording, that so I can do better quality videos for um, games that have a little bit more complicated graphics, such as Skyrim or the Borderlands games, or even Subnautica and all that. 'Cause I'd love to make videos for that as well. Um, but OBS doesn't exactly, or at least my setup for it doesn't capture it quite right, and it gets very laggy. So if you guys have any suggestions for that, and also since I'm using OBS and I don't know much about video editing or video editing programs, so if you have any ideas for free ones of that right now, I would appreciate that. But I won't have like any intro videos or animations or whatever, load screen skipping or crap like that. Um, so pretty much my intros until I get a video editing software is going to be of my desktop. You can see there's different games on it. Some of them are bought, some of them are not. I torrent, but Usually games that I torrent that I really enjoy, I usually always end up buying. Um, yeah, so I'm not like stealing, you can say. Like Subnautica, I torrented that a long time ago, and then I bought it because I loved it so much. Anyway, but let's get to it. I will be changing the game volumes throughout the thing every now and then, or really just for the beginning. Because the voice actor that does the character, the Ancestor, I love his voice, and I love the cutscenes and the animations are gorgeous. So let's get to it. Oh, and also, almost forgot to mention, OBS does not like my cursor or my resolution for my game or something like that, so I have it set so you will not be seeing my cursor throughout the game because it just doesn't line up right and it's annoying and looks chintzy, so let's get going. Oh yeah, and I'll also be explaining the game here and there as things come up. Just because, yeah, I don't know the game, I've never beaten it, I don't know the game too well. I will be doing mostly my opinions on things. So, yeah.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
So basically, you saw I think that'll work. The background of what the game is you're trying to fix what this guy's fucked up. And all that. It's great. It's fun. So let's start up our campaign. Yes, dude. Like I said, I've been trying to do this for a while now. These are the DLC, the official DLCs that you can get for it. This one here is the Crimson Court. I think it was the first DLC. I don't know. It adds the courtyard region, as you can see. New storyline adds a bit of stuff. It more or less it adds like mosquito mutants and lots of bad things. It's annoying, makes the game harder, the basic game harder, which is always fun. The Crimson Court comes with this, and I think the Districts DLC, that it adds like different types of buildings you can build in the hamlet, which is your home base. That gives you bonuses to certain things, certain hero classes, or gives you more money in missions, stuff like that. The Flagellant is a hero class. It's one of the playable classes. Well, he's a Flagellant. He hits himself. He also hits other people, and he can heal when he hits himself, I guess. I don't really care for him. I don't use him all that much. This is the Colors of Madness. It's new game mode and new area. Or new mission type called Endless. I haven't done anything with it. This here is the Shield Breaker. I really enjoy this class. Very useful, very versatile, and you'll hear that word a lot, versatile, when I describe certain classes, because versatility is key in surviving most of this stuff. The Musketeer is a free DLC. It was originally a special thing. It was a basic reskin of another class, but now it's, from my knowledge at least, they revamped it and it's very useful. You'll see I like to use it a lot. The Shield Breaker and the Musketeer I use a lot when I can. Alright. Yes. These are the different difficulties. The Radiant's the easiest, it's less grinding, it's quicker. This is normal. It's lots of grinding to level up your characters. Blood Moon, I haven't really done anything with Blood Moon. I think I've seen one video of someone doing a run through of it. Makes everything harder. You have time limits and such. We will be doing Darkest, because that's what most people do, and it's simple. You get the most out of it. There we go. Here. Now let's go with mods, because I play with mods, and the mods are free. I will only be using like maybe 4, because in another playthrough that I've done, I have all of them turned on, and I don't like some of them, and some of them I really like. I think I'm going to click that one, because that's a supplement for a mod that's I really enjoy. Marvin Sale. It's by Marvin Sale. There's another one that helps it out. Marvin Sale is a really good mod maker. His stuff is just really cool. Alright. The mods that you'll really actually see me use are these two here. The two bottom ones. Marvin Sale, or Seal, whatever the hell you say it. His Thrall class, which is like a giant monster man gladiator, is very good to use, but he's also very hard to use, just because there's just some issues that he can cause, and I'll get into that when it happens. And yes, it will happen. Here's the Spartan class. It's, in general, it is a reskin of the Shieldbreaker, but different. It has some different attacks and different abilities. It's another one of those very useful, very versatile classes. So you'll see me using it a lot. Alright. Those are all set up. Let us begin.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Alright, that was the intro video. Like I said, I love that guy's voice. It just works. I have a friend that I play like tabletop RPGs, like such as Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons with, and he kind of talks like the ancestors, and I get a kick out of it. And if that friend, if you're watching this, I mean that in the best regards. You use the fancy long words like the ancestor uses. I will basically be giving you a basic gist of controls and, well, not really controls, but just what things you do in the game, the important little tidbits, things like that, things that I like to do, things that I've seen people do. I will be explaining items more or less to at least my knowledge. And and I forgot to apologize since my computer isn't the best, and OBS makes things load a bit slower as well. My load screens are going to be very long, and it's horrible and annoying. And like I said, since I don't have a video editing software, I can't really cut these short as much as I'd like to. So once again, I'm going to ask if you have any suggestions on editing software, please let me know. Since I'm only starting out, I don't want to put any money into this. But if I somehow get mildly popular, or not even mildly popular, because that's a very broad spectrum. Like if my views start getting like, or if my videos start getting like, let's say 20 or more views, I might think about spending a little bit of money on getting recording programs or editing programs. But right now that's neither here nor there. Um, just because this is my, well, officially this is my second video on my channel. My other video is more of a test video. It's a quick Yu-Gi-Oh thing. And hey, looky here, it's loaded. So let's begin. Okay, so basically you start out with the two characters here. Um, there's Reynauld, who is a Crusader class. Um, he Crusaders are close range. They melee, and all that. Um, and there are memes about these two because everyone starts with Reynauld and Dismas, and the memes are great. And there's special things with them. Like if you beat the game with them from beginning to end without either of them dying, you get an achievement because they were here in the beginning. But Reynauld, let's see, there we go. He always starts with all these. Kleptomaniac is what he is known for. He Kleptomaniac characters, they steal items. Like you will see as I go through, there are things you can loot, and characters with Kleptomaniac have a chance of taking that for themselves and not letting you get it. But there's I think you have to be playing it for a very long time with Reynauld and him stealing stuff. There's special codes and there's a special event towards that. Um, if he and he has to die for it, but it's a very small chance it can happen. But it is an event that I've seen. Um, it's called You Find Reynauld's Stash. Basically, it is every item that he has stolen comes back to you, and it's like you have to be at like week 50 in order for it to even start. I'm not 100% sure. It was no one talked in the video that I watched, but that's a neat little thing. And this is Dismas. He is a highwayman. They focus on ranged, like with his gun, and yeah. So let's go. Well, that sucks. Normally with that little spot I get like over 1,000 gold and some bits. Uh-oh. What just happened is called surprise, which is not the you want it to happen to your enemies, not you. Because when it happens to you, your party gets all switched about. When it happens to your enemies, they that just gives you one whole free round. Oh dang, not again. Up here I forgot to mention that's affect your game. It's your torchlight. Let's get this done. The lower the light, the more problems that can happen. Yeah, no, I'm gonna make you bleed. He doesn't bleed. That sucks. Bleeding is one of those very useful things. Let's see if I can stun him. Yep. Yay. Oh. Let's see if I can get him to bleed again. There we go. Bleeding just causes damage over time. There's another one called Blight, which does it. Some things are immune to Blight, and some things are immune to bleed. Oh, whoops. Nope, he's dead. Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on some of the things that I kind of missed. Torchlight. The more torchlight you have, is the safer it is. But the less torchlight you have, the more reward you can get. But it does make it harder. I will get into some of that later. This is your victory screen thing. It's where you can get your loot from your fights. Where you can get trinkets and other items that can be of value. Trinkets give bonuses. This is part of the Crimson Court. It has something to do with bloodsuckers. I don't quite remember. Like I said, I've never really done it. And this is an heirloom, and the heirloom is where is like currency inside the hamlet. You upgrade buildings and such with it. Oh. This is a calculation screen. It shows your rewards, your quest rewards, collected stuff. The more stuff you have by the end of the thing, the better. Just because it all stacks up and it's all worth something. This it shows you your collected heirlooms. Hold on 1 second. Something's going on. Okay. This is your experience screen. Your resolve XP. That's your levels. The max level is 6. I believe. And it takes a lot to get up there. This is the hamlet. This is your base of operations. This is where you can like sell trinkets. This is where you get more heroes. Love, you can upgrade your heroes and such. It's all. This is where you do everything. It's where you heal. Here we go. This is the the weekly activity log. Um, it just shows you what's gone in with your week. Everything is 1 week at a time. Every mission is 1 week at a time. Um, Over on the other side is all the your quest goals. Um, just little things to do that I'm not sure if you have to do them, but it's just goals you can just check off. Yeah. This is the stagecoach. This is where you get your new people. Come on. There we go. You can upgrade it, and it's usually the first thing that I upgrade is always that. This is a graveyard. This is where you see people die. This is the memoirs. This is basically where you get little audio clips or videos and such. Like you can see, these are all the bosses you can fight. And yeah, and you get audio clips with each thing. This is the Nomad Wagon. You can buy trinkets here, and with the Color of Madness, it has something to do with crystals, crystal shards, whatever. You can buy unique trinkets here. And that's all that you can do in here right now. These are, as you can see, like boarded up, run down. You have to continue stuff in a bit. How you place your people down here is your formation. Um, we got to explain the two new people. Um, Hallie is a sorry, I'm stretching. Is a plague doctor, and that she specializes in blighting things, which is very useful, especially in the ruins. That's because the enemies in the ruins they tend to be immune to bleed, and you'll see why. Um, Canagris, this one here, she is a Vestal. She is a designated healer. She keeps the party alive, which is very, very important. This is your provision screen. This is where you can buy items which help you go out through and do things. This is food. You want to have ample food supplies. This is a shovel. Always good to have one or two, maybe three, depending on where you are. It clears out obstacles. This is anti-venom. As you can see, you get a free one. That's because of the Plague Doctor. It cures blight, which is useful because sometimes I've had people die from blight and it hurts you. Bandages, cures bleeding, which is always something very good to have. Medicinal herbs, it's always good to have one or two of those. They clear out debuffs. Skeleton keys unlock secret rooms and they unlock certain chests, and you can get more loot on things. This is holy water. It's always good to have a couple of those. As you can saw, there was a free one, and that's from the Vestal. Certain characters give you certain items for free. Here's a very important one. Torches. You always want to have a lot of torches, unless you're wanting to make things harder, then you don't do torches. I've done a few dungeons without torches, and you can do it. You just have to know what you're doing. Let's start. First mission. Oh, there it is. Alright, let us start. This is an exploration mission. I can see in the top left. That just means, yeah, you just have to explore 90% of the rooms. These are undead things, which are which is why they're immune to bleed, because skeletons don't have blood. You can see there's a corpse here. Those gotta love blight. Corpses are obstacles that you have to get through. The It's all about formation and stuff. In this game, you gotta have the right formation that attacks certain members of the other formation. Here's an obstacle. And it's all good once you get the hang of it. Ah, see, they're surprised. And then that gives me a full round. Um, this enemy here, the Cultist Acolyte, I hate them. They cause something called stress, which can be very, very bad. your characters can eventually die from stress, even if they're at full health. So whenever there's an enemy that does mostly stress damage, you want to get rid of them quickly. Because you can always, especially if you have a Vestal or another healer, you can always heal your people health-wise, but there's not a lot of stress healing abilities. As you can see now that it's really dark, you can see the thingies that have changed. Increased stress, which is bad. Increased monster accuracy and damage, which is bad. Increased chances of crit, which is bad. Increased chance of the heroes being surprised, which is bad. But it does increase your loot. It does. You still have an increase on your crits. And you have a slight increase to monsters being surprised. And it's all the increases in relation to when it's like this. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. This, yeah, this is where everything's based on. Pitch is black. A lot more stress. Everything that can be bad is extremely increased, but your crits do a lot more damage and you get a lot more loot. But I tend to not want to stay in that for too long, especially this far in the beginning of the game, as in all these guys are level 1s. Oh, crit! Getting criticals is probably one of the easiest ways to heal stress, which isn't very good. let's continue on. Yeah. That was a lot of food. There you go. That's why you have food. Okay. Here's a lot of kind of tough enemies. The courtier, that's another person that does a lot of stress damage, so you want to get rid of them quickly. There's the bone arbalist, which they're annoying, but nothing bad. As you can see, that's a lot of stress. These guys here, they have a lot of the one in the front, the defender, they have a lot of protection, so they can take more damage without being hurt. Uh-oh. Already on death's door. Crap. Oh. Good on you. The people type protection, you want to make sure that you really get them plighted or get them to bleed. Just because bleed and blight, they ignore all protection. Because, yeah. There you go. There you go. Let's heal you. There you go. Yeah. Your inventory is small, so it's always, you always gotta figure out what's worth something, what's not. At this point, this is the last room that I have to be in. So I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of these provisionary items. Because they don't, everything has worth at the end and everything stacks up. But as you can see, there's items like this. Jade, which has a value of 375 gold each. And Onyx, 500 gold each. Down here you have Emerald, Citrine, and you have your stacks of gold. But I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I'm going to continue adventuring so I can get in here. So I can get more heirlooms. Really? This was the biggest stack for portraits was 4. Okay. There we go. And you'll see in the calculation screen all these items being stacked up and increasing your amount of gold that you get. Come on. Here we go. You'll see right here. As you can see, as they're counting up each one of these things, it was adding collected treasure, gold to your collected treasure. So it's always good to, when you finish, to have a full inventory, just for the sake of things that stack. And this, yeah, quest rewards. Oh, people got new quirks. Hmm. Oh, that's a good one. That's very bad for a plague doctor to have. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's diseases in this game. You can get diseases like syphilis or rot gut. You can get a whole bunch of different things. Um, there's rabies, which there's a oh good. Um, there's a hero class that is probably one of my favorites. That rabies helps out a lot. This is a stress relief place. This is the tavern. You can upgrade it, blah blah blah. But you can drink at the bar, you can gamble, or you can indulge in the pleasures of the flesh, which I do not like putting my people in as much, because every like 2 people, they whenever I do the brothel, especially if it's a highwayman like Dismas, they tend to always disappear on me for 2-3 weeks. And when I say disappear, as in you can't use them because they're gone, and you can't add someone in here when they're gone. And here's the Abbey, another stress relief place, and of course upgrades. This is the more religious stress relief. This is like for your Crusader or your Vestal, or other folks down the line. Now, let's see who do we have. Ah, Abomination. I like the Abomination. I do not like the Jester for all that much. I mean, I know he can be good. I just don't like him. I don't know why. It's always good to have another Crusader. But Abomination. Um, these guys are. There's no other way to do it but say it. But they're monsters. Let's see. What's this? Oh wow. That's that's a good thing to have. Your Abomination is going to be another melee. They have two modes. They have their human form, which is for these skills here. Um, one's kind of ranged, the other one's kind of ranged too, and this is stress heals yourself. Doesn't stress heals the party. Um, and then when you use this, they transform into a monster, and these three get switched out for these three. But always be careful when you transform because it causes stress to everybody else in your party. And then yeah, it's it's a difficult one to use, but it is also very useful if you can get it working right. And this the jester, they bounce around everywhere more or less. I don't really care for them, so I tend to not grab them. Ah, look at that. Okay, must be a new update. Alright, let's next mission. Farmstead's unlocked, but I hear it's actually really hard. Let's do another. Let's do a skirmish, which is a elimination type thing. You have to complete all room battles. Let's go through here. Get my normal stuff. There we go. If you can read that, that's very true. Each region has its own challenges. Assemble your party and supplies accordingly. Each area has its unique enemies, like the ruins. You can see it has those undead folks, the skeletons, which are all immune to bleed. Scouting. Scouting is very useful. It just tells you what's ahead. Oh boy. The Madman and the Courtier. Those are the Madman is a massive stress damage. So I want to get him blighted as soon as I can. The Madman can do like up to 30 stress damage in one go. So I always, there we go. With a gross corpse. Alright. Now I'm going to kind of explain the corpse. The corpses, what they do. They're like placeholders. Which, as you can see, this one's blighted. Once this one's gone, you'll kind of see what it'll do to the others. So let's just blight these guys, if I can. Yay! you'll see what happens. I'm going to attack this corpse, clear it out, and it changes their formation. Look, every enemy, every character in the game, depending on their position, they can do certain things. Like with the Vestal, you want her in all the way in the back, because that's where she can do all of her healing. As you see, with her preferred position is in the back. On the skills, you'll see there's yellow dots and then there's red dots. Yellow dots meaning your position, the character's position in the formation, and the red dots are who they can attack in the other one, in the enemy's formation. So you can see with the Vestal, preferred position is third, is the preferred position, but that's just calculated by even if it says preferred right there, she's more effective in the back, all the way in the back, because she can use judgment. But it's all calculated by how many times certain dots appear. And here, same thing in the back, but it's like Doctor can be the best in third almost all the time. Highwayman and these two, I always have them in second. Yeah. And then, yeah, you get the gist now. Alright. Go down this way because it's the most effective way to hit all the rooms. Because if you go this way, you still have to go down. Another really neat thing about this game is the dungeons are completely randomized. So you'll never get two playthroughs that are the same. All because the dungeons are completely and utterly randomized. Except for, I think, the darkest dungeon. I think those ones, those ones are set, but I'm not 100% sure. And as you notice, not every enemy will leave a corpse. Ah. Well, he's dead. No, that's what happens. Oh boy. Woo! Crit. I forgot he has that fear of man or something like that. So he doesn't like to attack people for some reason. There we go. We're all set. Crap. This is not going to end good. Uh, hmm. Crap. I'm gonna try getting out of this. This is not going to end very well. Because I lost my damage dealer. And also everyone's getting high stress, so that is not good. There we go. Yeah. Sweet. Of course. And that's not that bad for Crusader to have. Just because Crusaders are meant to take the damage. Let's see if we have my favorite yet. Oh boy. This is a notice board. This is shows events that happen. Like this is, yeah, annoying. Alright. This is the guild, which is where you can improve your characters, their skills and such. Instructor. There we go. I want to do that because then I can increase the effectiveness of the skills. And then the blacksmith, which is where you can increase the effectiveness of your armor, which nope. I need 2 more D's. Well, that sucks. Let's see here. And no. Which one goes my D's again? This one here. There we go. Now I have voila. Now this just blacksmithing. The weaponsmithing lets you do this one. Armor smithing, of course, lets you do this one. But these two places are what you use to effectively improve your characters. Ah, sweet. The Hellion and 2 shield breakers. And I can see that this has been a rather long video. It's over an hour long now. So I am going to cut it off here. Exit the main menu because it saves that way. It's weird. Let's exit to the desktop. Well, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully this time it works. Once again, my name is Remenstein13. You can call me Stein for short. And if you see on my desktop any games you want me to make videos of, let me know in the comments. And once again, if you know any better recording programs that are free and some video editing programs so I can cut out load screen times or when I have to go pee or other embarrassing things, please let me know in the comments. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.